Okay, let's get started. I'm going to show you how you can teach your baby to read using flashcards. Flashcards are the most traditional method used in order to teach babies to read. Before we get started, I am going to tell you the materials that will be needed. I will show you how to make the cards, and I will also show you how to use the cards. We will include checklists at different points during this tutorial so that you can stop and make notes in case there are items that you might need. Before I begin, I would like to tell you that we should always use non-toxic materials and that the flashcards are intended to be a tool. They're not a toy. Your baby should not be handling the cards. The small pieces can be torn off of the cards and that can become a choking hazard. So it's a good idea to respect the cards, not let baby crumble them all up. Mommy or daddy, whoever's going to do the teaching, holds the cards and shows the cards to the baby. So now that we've got that done, let's discuss the materials necessary in order to make flashcards. First of all, you need non-toxic markers, red or black. We recommend using red because red has been proven to capture baby's attention more, and it helps hold their attention while you're showing the cards. We like to use a thick marker, thickest point possible. This one isn't really thick, but it's good. We don't want to have a thin, scraggly line at first when we begin teaching our babies to read. If black is the only color available to you, black will suffice. Don't stress out over it. So red or black would be the colors of choice with the markers. Next, you're going to need some cardstock. Right here I have 5x8 and 5x11 cardstock. It's 100-pound cardstock. You can go to your local office supply store and get 110-pound cardstock. You can even use poster board, works very well. The heavier the paper, it's easier to handle and it's more durable. More sturdy, less see-through, so those are points to consider when getting your paper. You can also just pick up 5x8 index cards at the office supply store. They're already cut, they're not quite as thick, but they work fine. There's no need to try to make sure everything's perfect. It's very easy to teach babies to read, and I hope to show you how easy it is and get you very excited to get started. So don't get caught up in getting everything right with the materials. Showing them the words is the most important thing. Try to get your paper to be non-glossy because it can create a glare when you're showing your cards. That's another important factor. And if you want to use plain paper, you can always laminate it. It is an extra step, but some parents choose to do that. So we don't recommend using any cards smaller than 5x8. It is fine to use cards larger than 5x8. The bigger the word, the easier it is for the baby to see it without any strain to read the words. So I would not recommend going any smaller than 5x8. 5x11 is a nice size for the larger words, and you can go larger than that if you choose. We do like to use pictures when we teach our babies how to read. We put a picture on the back side of the card. It's not necessary to have pictures in order to teach your baby to read, but babies do love to see pictures. It sometimes makes or breaks a reading program. Sometimes babies don't want to just look at words. They like to be rewarded by getting to see the picture on the opposite side after they've looked at the words. There are words that cannot be demonstrated by pictures, so some words you're going to just have to write. In other words, if you can find a picture, you can clip pictures out of magazines, you can print them off the internet, whatever works for you. And a word list. You're going to need a word list to know which words you want to teach your baby. You can start by teaching your baby their body parts. That's a great place to begin. You can make a list of words and then make out your cards: eye, ear, nose, mouth, teeth, etc. You can also teach your baby the names of family members: mommy, daddy, baby's name, siblings' names, grandma, grandpa, pets' names. Those are really fun for babies. They really love those. You can make a list of items around the house, and you can create cards around that, things found in the house, possessions that the baby uses, and so forth. Colors and shapes are also another great thing to start with. There's so many things you can teach your baby, so many words you can teach your baby that I couldn't possibly tell you all of them right now, but we will provide you with some guidelines at the end of this presentation. Also, It's very important to key into the things that are interesting to your baby. If your baby loves flowers, if your baby loves bugs, if your baby loves princesses or cars or trucks, create cards around the words that your baby loves. It will just personalize your baby's program and make it very exciting for your baby to see words that they love. If your baby likes to use a word continually, make a word card out of that and teach your baby how to read those words. And lastly, I would like to tell you that babies love big words. It is no harder for a baby to read the word duck than it is to read the word elevator. Actually, babies like to read big words. They're much more clear and easier to differentiate from words like rat, cat, and sat. So don't be afraid to throw big words in there. Your baby's going to love them, and it makes the program a lot of fun. Now we're going to create some word cards. We're going to start with single word cards. One important thing I'd like to mention is when you're creating a word card to use lowercase letters.